Jello Beats, holla at me.
Good, wasn't it?
Yes, we're rolling now.
Let me double
Yeah,
check
we
that.
are.
Yep, we're rolling. Okay.
Indeed we are. Funny that.
Okay guys, welcome to In the Kitchen with AJ. A very popular request here. We have the morning shake. You could also call this the morning fat loss shredding shake, because of course this is the shake that I've had for about 30 weeks throughout my contest prep. Actually, I take that back. I think when I started prep for at least 5 weeks I was still shoveling granola down my mouth because my appetite was horrendous. So, it's it really is quite a simple recipe, but I do get asked, daily for the recipe. It's like I'm some sort of Gordon Ramsay with a NutriBullet. So essentially, we've got the prerequisite is what are we going to blend this with? So I guess first up we should pop round here and we should see what we're actually blending the ingredients with. So here is the NutriBullet. Obviously, as you can see, if you don't purchase it in blue, your shake probably won't be the same as mine. So make sure that the version of the NutriBullet that you buy is blue in colour. If it's not blue in colour, the recipe just simply will go down the drain. So next up, we have to obviously visit the cup. Now, with the NutriBullet, you get two sized cups. For this recipe, we must use the big cup, because the small cup just doesn't have the capacity for the amount of ingredients that we're going to be putting inside the cup. So, we must be aware of this. Okay, so next up we've got obviously the scale device to weigh out the ingredients for the recipe. So we must put the cup sort of ideally in the centre of the scale, because if the cup wasn't in the centre, again some of the measurements might just be slightly off, and that could again just completely ruin the smoothie. So to turn the scale on, obviously we press the on button. And ideally you want to set the scale to grams to weigh out the ingredients for this recipe. Of course you can weigh in other measurements if you really want so, but today we're going to weigh in grams. So here we've got the first ingredient, which is of course Tesco strawberries. Now these are frozen, so if your fruit is not frozen, this recipe will again fall to pieces. So you must have frozen strawberries, and these are of course paleo, organic, high profile, low molecular weight strawberries that sit very well in the stomach. So you must go to aisle 11 in the organic paleo section to find these fruits. They're very difficult to find, and of course, this is probably why I get asked quite frequently about the recipe, because it is so intricate. It really is so intricate. Right, so simply pouring in the strawberries here. This is quite an intricate process as well. Oh dear, we got enough grammage here. The answer is yes, kind of. See, ideally you'd like 200 grams. But today we have the choice between 195 and 202. Now, with me being a competitive bodybuilder, I look at the 202 and think, that's 2 grams that I shouldn't be having. So I take out a strawberry, I place it back in the bag, and I go with 195. Because I don't want to be standing here in a front relax thinking I had 202 strawberries. 195 will work much better in my head. So now we simply zero the scale, and this is the second ingredient. So again, quite a complex ingredient here. We've got ice. Yes, a complex ingredient. So ice is quite simple, guys. You've got to have some sort of ice creation device. So I've used these very pretty heart ones. Of course, you could use other shapes and sizes. I think really hearts work the best. The reason why hearts work the best is because the diameter of the heart just really slots straight into the smoothie device with ease, as you can see now, you know, with the close-up. We're just slotting these in with the absolutely maximum efficiency. So I tend to use, I'm weighing the ice here, which is unusual for me, because I tend to just use the whole tray, pallet of ice. So you can make ice quite simply, and I'm going to show you how to make ice as well for the people that sort of don't understand how to do this part of the recipe. So to make the ice, you've got to take the pallets, and over here we have the tap. So the tap in a sense just pours out water like so, and you fill the pallet up to the absolute brim. There we go, quite a complex process. Now, coming over to the freezer is the dangerous part. We have to balance the pallet, and then of course we have to perform almost like a stiff-legged deadlift. The hips are going back, the chest is kept high, and we're focusing really on just keeping that spine in line, alright? And then once we open the tray, we can then dispense the pallet into the shelf, and make sure that, you know, as you shove in the tray, it's a very smooth and efficient process. And then shut the tray. Okay. Right, so we've got 178 grams of ice. So 178 grams of ice and 195 strawberries. Now we hit 0. Next up, the next ingredient is CMP propeptide. It's a Jaffa cake flavour. It's a very tasty flavour, this. And yes, I don't know how they've managed to sort of get the Jaffa cake flavour, because I'd imagine that that's sort of copyrighted or patented maybe. But we don't know why, but it's Jaffa cake flavour. Now, a prerequisite prior to placing the Jaffa cake protein into the shake is to sniff. Oh, that smells amazing. So, as we sort of dig deep into the palate for what we're searching for, we've got to remember that weighing out too much Jaffa cake protein is possibly the worst mistake you could ever make. Why? Because when you put the Jaffa cake protein into the NutriBullet, you will not retrieve a single gram. Like, no grams will ever be had back. It's impossible to retrieve from the ice and the strawberry mix. So you've got to be very, very careful here. So as you can see, we're searching for that 25 grams mark. Oh my goodness, we're on 23 grams. Now the pressure's really on. We hit 25 grams. Now the top goes in the on the CMP propeptide. That's placed to the side, and now we can move on to our next task, which is taking the shaker away from the scale and placing it onto a wooden surface. So as I take a trip over to the fridge here to grab the next ingredient, I'm going to place the strawberry, singular strawberry, back into the freezer and check that I have enough strawberries for the day next. I do. So here's my pre-prepared item, something that I prepared earlier, and it's water. Just shut the fridge there. And then we're going to come over to the shake. And what we're going to do is we're not going to weigh the water, guys. You know, this is a good thing about the cup, is that once you get an idea of the cup's size and its proportions, we can just go ahead and pour in until we hit our desired amount. To get a more thick shake, use less water. To get a thinner shake, use more water. So I tend to go to about this level here. So we're going to pour. We're going to pour carefully, nice and steady. And yeah, just get the angle on that, just so people realise about how much liquid there is in the cup. Cool. Okay. Now there's not much else left to do apart from sort of take the top, which is a little bit wet, but make sure in between uses you clean and rinse the cup, just to make sure that we're in a good situation from a health perspective. We're going to make sure this is very tight now, very tight, locked in. The importance of this is high. If you don't lock in the NutriBullet, all hell will break loose. You'll have strawberries, ice, Jaffa cake, all over the goddamn place. So now we're going to give it a brief shake, because otherwise when you put it into the NutriBullet it makes a goddamn awful noise. Because what happens is the blades that blend the shake, they hit the ice, they blend straight through the ice, and it sounds like a chainsaw massacre. Right, so we're going to come over to the NutriBullet, we're going to, oh my goodness me, I think that wasn't on quite straight. Fuck me. Oh no, we're okay. I thought I made a great error then. Strawberries ice all over the place. So we're going to essentially, what we want to do with regards to timing on this is the NutriBullet cannot be blended for more than 1 minute. It will just explode, and we've done that before. We've experienced that. So we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to blend until the mixture reaches like the top. Once it reaches the top, we do an 8-second count. And then we take off the NutriBullet, and that is the shake done. Okay? Right, so let's see what happens here. Okay, we're good. This is go. Wait until it hits the top. Okay, we're there. That's it, okay? So very important phase in that is once the smoothie hits the top of the lid, you do an 8-second count. The smoothie is ready. So the next step is obviously to simply unhook the brim, or the top, the cover, and wow! You know, look at what we're left with. A thick shake. A thick shake. We tap to get all the smoothie particles off. We lick, and then we get a straw. This is my favourite straw. It's a nice one, and we dispense. Could be a missing gram of protein though. And then, as you can see, if you come a little bit closer, we've got a very thick, tasty shake to drink or to slurp. So, guys, that's pretty much it for the recipe. I can imagine that there is probably going to be 18 to 84 questions, just confirming several things about the recipe that I perhaps didn't quite cover. So, you know, there's always something to be missed with this sort of complex recipe. So the most important thing that I must add is that when you are finished, you combine the smoothie. This is for fat loss. You combine the smoothie with a black coffee. Now, black coffee needs to come in a large mug. It needs to be sugar, no sugar added, no milk, black. And then you need to crack on with some work. So, you know, the work needs to be performed also at a standing desk. And this is for optimal fat loss. So, fat loss shake, fat loss desk. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Of course, any questions, please ask. Cheers, guys.